You up, mate?
It's here. Number 5 is.
Ah, great. Oh, wow. That's insane. That's our dining table. Good. Maria, we made it. So this is where we'll be dining at night. Look at all that firewood. Oh my God, I'm actually lost for words. This is crazy. Wow. Oh my goodness. What is going on? Oh my God, look at that sofa for the chilling and the YouTube watching. Oh, I got told off for going up at the end of my sentences. I do apologise, felt it's like a bedroom. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Right, so it looks like it's all on different levels. So what's in here? Oh my God. Wow. Oh, that sofa is going to be so good for getting stoned and lying on. So unusual to have a sofa that I can fully lie out on. Look at this. Fireplace. TV that we won't use. I might actually try and work out how to hook up YouTube to it. This is crazy. Presumably this is the master bedroom. So this will be my bedroom. Wow. Oh wow. This is incredible. What do you think? It's even better than I imagined. That dining table there.
I know, huh?
It's outrageous. Fantastico, Maria. What's down here? Do we have a garden? Oh wow, we do. Oh wow, I didn't realise we had a garden as well. This is perfecto. Whoa, what the fuck's down there? This as well?
No.
No.
Aparte, Casanec, Villa.
Okay, so finish.
El jardín de aquí para acá.
I can walk down, see?
Sí, adelante.
Yeah, see? Oh, this is incredible. So I'm not quite sure what this is at the bottom. It's obviously another unit. I don't understand, but no. No.
Más clientes abajo.
So I think that's for someone else. It seems a bit strange. I hope they don't come into our garden. Peasants at the bottom of the hill.
She's gonna make more keys because he has one, but she owns a property down below.
Oh, I was just going to ask about that. So that's
yeah,
what it is.
and there's an entrance down below which we have a key for, so we can go up and down here. We don't have to go all the way up.
Oh, that's
around.
nice. Yeah.
Thank God.
Very good. Very good.
Bueno, okay, bueno.
Okay.
Thought I was going to have to get him a wheelchair.
Okay.
Perfecto. Where's your translator?
Oh, it's in one of my many bags, man. No worries. Okay,
We'll
fantastic.
ask again later.
Perfecto.
Okay.
I need to bloody lie down.
Getting here.
Yeah, totally.
Tom was looking for a blender for his smoothies, his much loved smoothies, right? He's trying to ask her, and I said, well, let's deal with it later. Oh, she showed me she's going to bring fruit. And I go,
oh,
bueno. So
amazing.
she's bringing fruit.
Nah,
we're looking around, and I
haven't eaten
I showed
anything.
Tom this. How nice is this? Kettle for my hot water, microwave. Oh,
Look at those
glasses.
cups, man.
I know.
Whoa, copper cups. That's
and nice wine
amazing.
glasses, really good refrigerator. So we're looking around and we're saying, oh God, they have all kinds of good stuff. Hey, anybody care for fondue? Okay. And then we're going on and condiments, right? And then Tom opens this up and voila!
Hey, blendy blend.
His much beloved and much needed smoothie maker.
It's been 5 days.
Yeah, and look at this place.
Wow,
this place
it's
is dialed in,
incredible, mate. This is the best place I've ever stayed by now.
Yeah, that's it. For a house, me too. It's really outstanding. Oh, so nice to be here. Yes.
This is just insane. I'm speechless. Anyway, after all that stressfulness, definitely need a joint and a cup of coffee in my copper cup. Perfection. Hola. Can I get uno quesadilla, carne? To go, take away. Uno quesadilla.
Una quesadilla de pollo.
Sí.
Sí. Bueno,
Gracias.
sí,
Take away.
Para llevar.
Yes, sí, sí.
Para llevar. Bueno, tome así,
Gracias.
le preparamos.
Gracias. I can't imagine much dining out is going to occur. And this is lovely, but I'd much rather get a takeaway and sit on that incredible terrace. Funny that I referred to whoever is living in the house at the bottom as peasants, so it turns out to be the hosts. So you walk through their house to leave without having to go up that whole hill. I'll show you tomorrow. That's just ridiculous. I honestly can't believe that Mexicans live that way, or that anyone lives that way. It's insane. It's quite a spot for a beer, my friend.
Do tell. Bohemia. Really, really good beer. They have Bohemia Clara, which is the light, and then the Negra, which is dark. They're both extremely good beers, so I highly recommend them if you're ever in Mexico. I think they do sell them in the States also, depending on where you're from. But I think the beers here are going to be fresher, and they don't fuck with it. The exports, I think they fuck with it a little bit.
So it's another level to a Modelo, is it?
I think so. I like Modelo an awful lot. I mean, that's a standard beer that's really good.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
I think these are better.
Nice, enjoy.
Yeah, my favorite Mexican beer is Pacifico. Anyway, but Mexican beer, who taught the Mexicans how to brew beer were the Germans. And that's why Mexican beer is so good. They follow the German method, or German brewing method, that they only use just minute, like hops, water, and yeast or whatever. It's very simple. That's why it's so darn good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What a fountain of knowledge. Thank you, Stephen. Can you believe that this place has plastic plates? Like, everything is so on point, and it has plastic plates.
No, I think those two are eyes, and these three, and this. Yeah, that's what it is. These two are eyes. This is the cheeks.
Like the gooey ones.
Yeah, those are eyes for sure. And these are the cheeks, and then these are the conchita pibil. See it? That's a chicken.
I think I'll stick to cheek and chicken.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oops. I've dropped a bollock, people. So this is Tom. In fact, this is Tom on the day we moved out of this place. This is Tom 11 days in advance. I'll show you more. In fact, I think I already showed it you, but I'll speak. Why is it doing that? Oh my god, no, I won't. I'll speak like this because the camera's going crazy. Yeah, so basically, I split the video thinking that I'd done a massive tour of this place and was at least another half an hour's worth of footage. 7 minutes. I can't release a 7-minute video, can I? People will kick off. I've got an idea. Let me tell you about my stalker. I have an actual full-on insane stalker. This started 4 days ago, and I did a video explaining the very start of it, and I actually did this video trying to help this man, trying to give this man the answers that he needed. I did it just trying to be honest, trying to be truthful, pointing out the very clear, I don't even know what to call it at this point, I'm just going to call it very clear cognitive dissonance this man was suffering, where he couldn't see. So he literally said a sentence, as I explained in the video, he literally says a sentence, I gave you money without expectation, but I want you to be my friend. So clear expectation, and he just cannot see that. And I break it all down in this video. I really tried to help him, and he responds. Well, I'm going to do a second video on how he responds, and I'm going to speak a bit about that at the end of this video. I'm going to show you now the first video that I did. I shared it on Shadow Surrender, so some of you may have seen it. If you've seen it, then you want to skip ahead 26 minutes and 53 seconds, because I'm going to do a very short summary of what's happened since, and then I'm going to go out and record a whole video about it and share that with you, because it's very interesting. I mean, it's completely insane. Anyway, here's 26 minutes 53 seconds about how all this started with my crazy, insane, just demonic stalker, and then I'll speak a little bit afterwards about where we're at now. When lovers become haters. something that's happened quite a lot in my life as somebody who puts his head above a parapet, doesn't follow the norm, is unusual and potentially for some interesting and inspiring. It's something that I have come across a lot in my life where people are like, whoa, who's this guy? He's not following any of the rules. He's doing it his own way. It seems to be working to an extent. I'm certainly very intrigued by him. How do I get to be around him more? And then when they do get anywhere close, all the reasons why we're so different and why I am like I am and why they're not like that come to the surface, and they go from being a lover to a hater, and unfortunately, you know, these words are correct, from like worship and adulation to hatred and projection. And the reason I use those words is because it's not even about me. It's about them and where they're at, their repression, their delusion, you know, everything that's been done to them, essentially. Everything that's been taken away from them that has caused them to go into a neurotic psychosis, essentially, where they can't see reality for what it is, and they live in total delusion and projection, which comes from a very needy, desperate place. So I've recently had another example of this. It's a bit of a funny one to do a video on, because there's no part of me here that wants to ridicule. There's no part of me here that, I mean, I'm not even going to use his identity. He'll definitely know who he is. But it's pleasant for me. This happened 3 days ago and I've been trying to not react. But I can feel it. It needs expressing. Also, he's expecting a response. So we've had an email exchange. So this is, sorry, I should fill you in. This is possibly one of the biggest supporters of my channels over the last 3 months. Somebody who has commented non-stop on my videos. Really long comments, most of which are clearly copied off Google, you know, giving me information about the area I'm in, which I could easily just Google myself. And I've always been like, yeah, great, thanks. I always appreciate comments. I always heart them, often write a little one-liner back. But to be honest, I don't really read them. I mean, anyone who thinks that unless you're sharing something vulnerable and personal, that a YouTuber is going to have time to read, you know, really long comments that are just information that's off Google, is a bit mad. And it did strike me as like, okay, this guy is clearly desperate for my attention. But I didn't really think into it much, you know, he's doing him, I'm doing me, whatever. He's also been a Patreon member for 3 or 4 months, and he sent me some donations. Like, the guy has really supported me. I've really appreciated him. I've always tried to respond to his comments when I can. But clearly it's not enough for him, and he has an ulterior motive. Now this is what I want to get to. This is why I'm talking about it. Because I want to talk about the psychology of it. I want to talk about the cognitive dissonance and how deluded people are. How insane people have become. And you know, this is only through this man's desperation. You know, I feel for this man. And yeah, this victim mentality that we've got into, where people should do things for us because we've essentially tried to manipulate them, and because we're a victim, rather than, this is the key point, rather than meeting people in authenticity. You know, I'm open to being anyone's friend who has dropped the narcissistic masks, or is dropping the narcissistic masks, who is leaning in, who is feeling themselves, who is doing the work, who is learning to live authentically and can express vulnerably. However, very few people can do that. So those that can't do that think, oh, I know, I'll shower him with gifts and then I'll come with all this expectation. But they're not able to meet me, as this man has clearly displayed. I really appreciate donations and material support, of course I do. But if you're doing that with an intention of manipulating me into being your friend, then, I mean, we are just worlds apart. And there is, you know, you're so far from understanding what it takes to be my friend or my acquaintance. Like, I demand a lot from you because I will give you a lot. You know, this isn't like some unconscious relationship that's all about reinforcing each other's neurotic thought patterns, reinforcing our value systems, making us feel worthy based on nothing. I don't feel like I'm expressing that very well, but you know, basically I see 99% of relationships as people just reinforcing their suppression, their delusion, their cognitive dissonance, and finding people around them that will reflect the same opinions to them but don't challenge them. And I'm breaking that mold. I'm done with that. You know, I want people to give me harsh and hard reflections that I can't see, exposing my shadows, and sharing vulnerably about their deepest, most, you know, difficult parts of life. That's the only way I can really connect with someone now, through deep authenticity, honesty, and vulnerability. So obviously this man feels like I've not given him enough attention in the comment section, even though I'm pretty sure I heart every single one and leave at least a sentence on, I would say, 1 out of 3 of his comments. Anyway, so I get the first email from him, which basically says he feels like the comments on the videos aren't working, no one's interacting with them. I mean, maybe it's because they're really boring. Have you considered that? It's like this expectation, this, you know, putting this obligation on others to give you attention, to react, like rather than analysing people's responses and doing an internal dive on yourself to see where your need for attention comes from, and also analysing what you're writing. Like, is it interesting? Does it deserve responses? But it's like just putting it on the other straight away, assuming that there's a problem because people aren't responding enough to his responses. And obviously the problem can't be that I'm a boring fuck. It's a very friendly email, and he's basically just asking for confirmation that I don't hate him, essentially, because I haven't responded to his liking. And he even ends with, please don't feel obliged to respond. So at this point I'm just like, oh, okay, there's no issue here. I do respond. I only responded with like 1 line or something, just reassuring him that, yeah, I see your comments, I value your comments, nice one, great. Just 1 line. And then it starts. I just stopped subscribing. I don't know if it's you, me, or YouTube, but after the effort I've put in, I've received almost no interaction on your channels. So now I'm giving up. So here's the entitlement. Here's the expectation. I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just a guy sharing videos. I do my best to respond. Of course I do. 1, because people have put the time and effort in, and 2, because it's good for my channel. Of course I'm going to respond as much as I can. But maybe it is as much as I can. Maybe I'm doing all I can. Maybe I'm just a human that's not here to serve you. I asked you 3 times about a dog attack recently and your thoughts on contacting rabies without taking shots. Have you? Why are you asking me about rabies? I'm just a guy who speaks on YouTube. I don't know anything about rabies. It's like, you know, it's this deluded, typically from libtards, you know, how they totally twist everything. So this issue isn't about rabies. You know, this issue is about him feeling lonely, ignored, and his desperation for friendship, potentially my friendship. And yet he's making it about some comment about rabies, which I've never even seen. And if I did see, I won't respond to anyway, because I don't know anything about rabies. You know, it's just this unrealistic expectation. I have provided you with funds I cannot begin to afford because I genuinely valued your success. Well, that's on you, bro. You know, if you're sending money you can't afford to be sending, then how desperate are you? You know, like how self-hating are you that you would do that to yourself? Like, look at yourself, look at your actions, stop projecting them onto another. And what do I get? Silence, crickets. I'm not asking for much. I sincerely hope the issues stem from a misunderstanding because I'm so needy and desperate. I wish you all the best. You're among the most remarkable individuals I've ever encountered, and you appear to be unconcerned. What the fuck have I done? Oh, what have I done? It must be something awful because your actions just make no sense. How could you not want to respond to every single comment of mine? How could you not want to be my friend? I've given you £15 a month. I deserve to be your friend. Right, and here comes the victim bullshit. You know, I feel, you know, I have empathy. Like, I'm like, oh, that's a shame. But this next paragraph is typical libtard. It's typical victim mentality. It's typical, like, manipulation. You should be my friend because I'm ill, essentially. Not because I'm going to meet you. Not because I'm going to serve you like you will serve me. Not because I'm going to match for 10 years of self-work you've done and all the authenticity that you shine with. No, because I'm a needy little victim. Sorry, my phone keeps locking. I suffer from over 20 serious life-threatening health conditions. I live alone in almost total isolation, leave a house for only 2 hours, speak to nobody, and have no dialogue. You know, I feel for you. Yes, it's shit, but at the end of the day, dis-ease. You know, this comes from exactly what I'm highlighting. This comes from your lack of flow, your lack of taking responsibility. Eventually, trapped emotions will turn into disease. So again, you need to take responsibility, brother. Don't project it on someone else. And don't expect me to be your friend because you're fucked. It's not how I work. It might be how society works. You know, everyone just allows themselves to be manipulated because they're so used to being manipulated by the government. But I don't do that. And that's the reason you watch me. That's the reason you watch me and describe me as the most remarkable person you've ever come across. Because I don't conform to bullshit. So why am I going to conform to your bullshit? This is the best bit. I wanted to give without expectation of return, but not pay extra to interact. So there's your expectation. I think he says it even better in a bit. I cannot even, I don't need your spiritual one-on-one sessions. I have my own understanding. You sure about that, bro? Although I very much appreciate your perspective, I do not feel a need to pay for one-to-one time. Here it is. I wanted to give without any expectations and hope you would be open to interacting freely in return. That's an expectation. So do you see the cognitive dissonance? Do you see the contradiction? Do you see how insane people are? But they can literally write, and he goes on to talk about expectation again, as if he hasn't got any. Yet he is literally saying, I've given you money, therefore I expect you to be my friend. Oh, it is unbelievable. Stephen responded to his hater, but hasn't responded to me either. It's up to Stephen, man. You know, Stephen hasn't seen enough in your comment to respond to, and, you know, analyse yourself. Again, it's all is self. Until you get to a point where you're ready to surrender self, all is self. I need to be included, if I am included. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. Genuinely. Thanks, and hopefully it's not a goodbye. Oh, man, you know, I hope I'm not coming across as too harsh. Obviously, there'll be loads of people that just project onto this, but I'm just a nasty guy. But it's about valuing yourself, and it's about valuing others. About, like, true connection. This isn't connection, this is manipulation. This is retardation, like... Anyway, I responded to that one. Hello, I definitely responded to your last email. There is so much entitlement here, mate. I'd happily offer you a space in a men's group for all you have contributed, but maybe you are not ready. Probably best to allow you to just experience it than try to rescue you. If you're ready to take responsibility of joining us in a men's group, but if you want to stay in the energy of this email, I can't help you. Thanks, Tom. I apologise, but you feel I'm entitled. No. Every single email you send screams of entitlement. I'm a victim, be my friend. I've given you money, be my friend. You should do this because I've done this. It's all complete entitlement. Having just looked over my emails, I am very concerned you feel that way. Self-entitlement was my very last intention. You know, so this is people who live in, which is most people, live in purely in the mind. And we've seen from the left, like, the mental somersaults the mind can do to justify things to self. If you're living without any embodiment, without any connection to source, without any separation or detachment from self to allow something higher to come in, this is what happens: utter delusion. I gave without demands or expectations. I think I've covered that one enough. Because I noticed that you were very stressed, felt so again, you know, this is like, now it's time to disempower me and belittle me and show what a martyr he is. You know, all from his own perspective. You know, there's no truth in this, and there's no acknowledgement of, you know, how it might be for me and what my perspective might be. It's just, you know, statements of facts. I've offered you money which I can't afford without a sense of entitlement. You didn't even say thanks. I mean, that's just not true. You know, I've even tried to do shout outs for every single person that's ever donated to me in my videos. And I always respond to every single buy me a coffee. I mean, it's just crazy. If greetings, alright, so I'm clearly talking about these emails. I'm clearly saying these emails are full of entitlement. And then this is the typical libtard thing to completely deflect because he's not interested. You know, this is why essentially he can't be my friend, because he's not interested in the truth. He's just interested in his narcissistic image of himself. If greeting Stephen with hello constitutes a self-entitlement, it disturbs me. Otherwise, I'm still confused. No, of course that doesn't. I mean, that's like when the libtards say, but there's white grapists as well, so why are you interested in Pakistani ones? It's just completely irrelevant. It's just not the point. I'm not talking about you saying hello to Stephen. I'm talking about the email you just sent me that was full of entitlement. What time do you hold your men's group? This guy could never be in the men's group. Like, there's just way too much cognitive dissonance. Like, he's not able to take responsibility. And that's the whole purpose of the men's group. I am not sure what responsibility I am supposed to take. You stated, I defo responded to your last email, but your reply was a one-liner and ignored my specific question about babies. He didn't even ask about babies in the email. I mean, this guy is so mental. Just so mental. Like, how can you expect somebody who has done a shitload of self-work to escape? I used to be this mental too. We all are. To escape this psychosis. And then you want to just drag me into your psychosis and you expect me to just be like, oh yes, I'll totally become psychotic with you. No, it's not going to happen, bro. I haven't done the work to hang around with psychotic, disembodied people that are disconnected from all sense of intuition or truth. Like, no, it's not why you do it. You do it to escape all that. There's so much entitlement here, in quotation marks. Please, Tom, would you kindly clarify what this entitlement... So this is why I'm doing this video. There was no point, one, because it's presence for me and I just need to speak it out. But there was no point me responding to this man's email because he can't see it and he doesn't want to see it. He's not even trying to see it. There's a slight chance that if I break it down in this form for him, he might start to grasp a few percent of it, maybe 5% of it. If I was to carry on writing to him in emails, I mean, one, I just do not have the energy for it. But you can't express yourself over text. And clearly, you know, he's literally written the sentence, I gave to you without expectation, but I expect friendship. So clearly this man's cognitive dissonance is off the charts. So there's no email I can possibly send that will help him to see it. So hopefully this video might help a little bit. Would you kindly clarify what entitlement you're referring to and what constitutes as threats or neediness? There's no threats. You can't threaten me. What do you mean threats? Again, it's like this self-importance. Like, no, it's not threats. It's entitlement. God, entitlement, man. It's such a problem in society. And, you know, this guy, obviously, watching my videos, so he's not a libtard. You know, he's not going to be like pro-migrant delusion. But still deluded enough to live in complete disillusion and entitlement. I want to help. I wanted to talk to you. Exactly. I want this from you. Therefore, I'm going to send you £15 a month and expect it all from you. No. You know, I'm very clear with the donations. You know, if you feel you're getting value from the videos and you want to support it and you want to support this journey and you want to see it be more interesting, then send some money. I don't expect anything in return. It's not. I offer one-on-one sessions. I offer men's group. You know, if you want something in return for your money, that's there too. But don't just expect me to be your friend because you signed up to a Patreon. Like, what? It's just mental. It's absolutely mental. Anyway, this is the best bit. he feels, he ends it with, so this is the libtard somersaults. I'm now a bad person because it's like when libtards totally change the subject because they can't answer a question, so they just go off in some fucking tangent that's not related. So he ends it with, what is the chance, please, with your general experience and general knowledge, do you think there is of me developing rabies? Yeah, there's I mean, I ain't even seen him. I don't think he's even asked him. I think he's just, you know, so deluded he's made up that he's asked about rabies. But let's say he has. And let's say I had seen him. There's a reason why I haven't responded, Bo, because I don't have that information. It's nothing to do with me. I don't know anything about rabies. But I think he's just doing that typical thing where he's like, because he doesn't want to see the blatant truth about his entitlement, he's now making me a bad person for ignoring a question about rabies. It's just as if that's the issue. What I would be interested in is why you hold such a deep fear of rabies, why you hold such an irrational fear around rabies, why you've asked me 3 times about rabies. You know, I'd be interested in the psychology of it. I'd happily discuss that with you if you were willing and able to do that, but clearly you can't. But if you want to just use it as a threat kind of attack point, you've not answered me about rabies, then guess what? I'll continue ignoring you about rabies. Unbelievable, man. Just unbelievable. Anyway, so why have I done this video? I've done it, 1, as a response. He asked for a response. 2, to remove it from my system. And 3, because I think this is really important. You know, where we're at in society now with such little authenticity and truth. With so many friendships that are based on just reinforcing delusion. That are based on staying stuck. I know if you've ever been on any sort of transformative journey, you will know that your friendships and your relationships, everything completely transforms. So these people who have had friends for years and years and years, you know, they're just looking for their delusion, their cognitive dissonance to be reinforced. These are people who don't want to question themselves. These are people who don't want to question anything about society. They're so in fear, they just want the status quo to be true. They just want to withdraw their pension, you know. They just want to be safe because they're so scared of life. And that's where it all comes from. And then there's me and a few people like me who have seen through all that control, manipulation and bullshit, and are now taking major risks in their lives and just trying something out of the box and something new. And of course that's inspiring to a lot of these people. But then when they try to connect with you, they just want to drag you back into the box because they can't handle being alive. You know, essentially it's taking responsibility and being vulnerable. They can't do it. So yeah, it's just, and then there's also something around like how lovers turn to haters, you know, and they're not really supporters. You know, they're energy vampires. They're out to suck your energy because they don't have it and they're not willing to do the work to attain it themselves. They just want to suck it from you. So yeah, I thought I'd share it. Hopefully it might be relatable to some of you who are on this journey of awakening. And I mean, essentially the message here is ditch people. If you're on an awakening journey, don't hang on to dead relationships. Don't hang on to relationships where they're stuck in a lower vibration and all they're going to want to do, because if you're rising, everything about you, even if it's been a 10-year friendship, everything about you makes them question themselves, and they hate it. They hate it. So all they're going to do is try and drag you down to their level. See ya. I'm going this way. I think that's probably the main message. I feel like this video should have been much better. Like, there's so much in it. I'm not sure if I've done it justice, and I hope people appreciate that. I haven't just come on here to slag someone off. I mean, I haven't even revealed his name anyway, but you know, I'm not interested in that. I don't even see the individual, you know, I just see the collective consciousness and how fucked up it is. And I think it's really important for people who are broken out of that, for people who can see through that, to speak into it. Oh, and it's hard, you know, I get why this is really triggering stuff, but it's time for people to be triggered. It's time for people to receive the truth And yes, it's going to hurt because we're all so fucked. We're all so narcissistic, essentially. We've been made to be completely selfish and have a totally false identity of ourselves. You know, essentially because we've been taken away from God. Because we've been taken away from everything that's real, from everything that means anything. And now we all value these material fucking things and live from total psychosis. Because obviously if you get disconnected from nature, from God, from everything that matters and makes sense, of course you're going to be in psychosis. If you value a car over a tree, you're in psychosis. So yeah, I feel like it's my job, amongst with many others, to start speaking into these insanities and hopefully helping people to see. I don't think the guy that sent this email, I think he's beyond help, and it sounds like he's not going to be around much longer anyway. But hopefully it will help someone else. Hopefully it will help someone else either have the strength to walk away from a manipulative, low vibration friendship, or somebody who is still doing this to see it. That's the intention here. So yeah, share with me if you've ever had similar experiences to this, if you resonate with what I'm saying, if you can see a friendship in your life that needs to end, if you can see that somebody is just an energy vampire and has no intention of meeting you or serving you and just wants to keep you in their lives to reinforce their fragile ego at the end of the day. Let me know your experiences of this. I was going to say let me know if you just think I'm a dickhead, but yeah, I don't really need to know because I know where that's coming from. You know, you're in the same vibration as the man that sent this email. You're unable to take responsibility and therefore you're just going to project onto the truth. And I appreciate it's a hard truth to hear. I really do appreciate that. But it is the truth. So there it is. Big love. Oh, was that an end to it? Did he see the error of his ways, and did he thank me for pointing out his shadow, and is he now doing the self-work and living authentically and honestly and healing his wounds and transforming his insanity where he can't even see his clear contradictions? No, definitely not. He's resorted to threats, really serious threats. Which probably aren't actually serious because he's just mental, but you know, on a surface level they are serious. It did really affect me for 24 hours. Anyway, I'm going to speak all about this in great detail. Right now I'm going to go do a video about it, and I'll probably share it tomorrow depending on what. So basically I have just sent him an email saying, are we calling a truce or am I going to do more videos and expose your identity? So we'll see how he responds to that. Maybe you'll never see part 2, but it's going to get made. And it's going to be fucking fire. I think I'll probably share it on this channel. I might share it on Shadow Surrender. So maybe subscribe to Shadow Surrender if you're not already. Yeah, sorry about the only 7 minutes of new footage to those you weren't to watch to this point anyway. So if you watch to this point, I imagine you'll be very happy. It's quite an interesting episode. See you tomorrow.